trigger at the end.
Okay.
And that's going to be Digital Wiz. He's going to stand on that tape. He's taking a photo for the cameraman.
All right.
It's going to be Turner Finesse. So I'm going to stand at the podium. This will be my seat. Turner, Patty, that street's on the end.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
You have your time?
I don't want to give it to my dad.
Okay.
Do you need me to tell somebody?
No, I just don't need this right now. I'm looking for my parents. Where's VIP? It's the red seats, right?
Yeah, but S5 didn't do their job.
No way, really?
Yeah, they didn't. Because when I came in at like 12, people were already sitting there. So
Oh man, that's
it is what it is at this point.
pretty upset. Oh, they're right up front.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the class of 2025's ring presentation ceremony. I'm Cadet Karam, and this is Cadet Woosley. We are from the class of 2026, and we will be the masters of the ceremony for today's ring presentation. The class of 2025 and the stage party will be ending shortly. You will be asked to stand for the procession and remain standing for the national anthem. Please turn off all cell phones at this time. As the class of 2025 prepares to receive their rings, I will provide you with some background information about VMI and ring figure. VMI is a place of tradition, honor, integrity, duty, and selfless service. It is our belief in these values that sets us apart from any other student in any other college in the world. The tradition of ring figure also sets us apart. This is a brief history of the VMI class ring. The presentation of the VMI class ring and the formal dance known as ring figure represents an important milestone in the life of a VMI cadet, second only to graduation. Although VMI opened in 1839 and the first cadets graduated in 1842, the earliest cadets did not receive VMI rings. The first ring was designed by members of the class of 1848 and was presented to the graduates during the final celebrations. Cadets paid $5 for the rings, a large sum of money in the mid-19th century. The original ring design was simple. The word Mizpah was cut in the top bezel of the stone, in Old English script. Mizpah is typically translated from the Hebrew as watchtower, as an emotional bond between people, which is seen from Genesis chapter 31, verse 49. The Lord watches between me and thee, when we are absent from one another. The term signified brotherhood, the enduring connection among the 24 graduates.
Throughout the late 19th century, the practice of having a class ring was observed by some classes and ignored by others. If a class chose to have a ring, it was presented just prior to graduation in an informal setting. Cadets gathered in a Brother Rat's room and all put on their new rings simultaneously. The custom of receiving class rings became firmly established beginning with the class of 1908, which also established the tradition of rings being distributed during the second class year. The class of 1928 started the present ring figure tradition at the Thanksgiving dance in 1926. The first ring figure was held in the old gym in Jackson Memorial Hall, where the VMI Museum is currently housed. Cadets escorted their dates to the red, white, and yellow decorated gym, where the class formed the numeral 28 on the dance floor before their dates slipped on the rings to the cadets' fingers. Closing with an old yell for the class of 1928, their tradition of ring figure was born. With each successive year, new traditions were added to the event or changed by the class planning ring figure events. The class of 1929 carried on the traditions stated in the previous years, but added on their own twist. The cadets received their ring from their date beneath a covered rose arch. In 1930, the event was moved to the new gym in Calk Hall. In 1932, the dance was held as a formal military ball with Calk Hall richly decorated in black and white. In 1933, the dates of the class of 1935 added their tradition of wearing a white gown to the ball. The class of 1962 was the first to commemorate key events of their shared experience by establishing the class side of the ring in 1960. In 1961, Lieutenant General George R.E. Schell, VMI class of 1931, and the Institute's 9th superintendent initiated a change that continues today, that of presenting the ring to each cadet in the class. The class of 1966 designed a huge replica of the ring for cadets and dates to walk through before going to the rose-covered arches to receive their rings. Over the last few decades, ring figure as an event and the rings themselves have become increasingly larger and more elaborate in design, in marked contrast to much plainer examples from the 19th century. However, it is now time for the class of 2025 to join in this tradition. Please stand for the procession of the class of 2025 and the stage party. Remain standing for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant General Furness, Major General Wins, distinguished guests, friends, and family, we welcome you to the class of 2025's Ring Figure Presentation Ceremony. My name is Nathan Benton, Chairman of the Ring Figure Committee. Joining me on stage are Lieutenant General Furness, VMI Class of 1987, United States Marine Corps retired, Major General Cedric T. Wins, VMI Class of 1985, and VMI's 15th Superintendent. Also joining me on stage is Noah A. Chapman, the Class President, Turner J. Gallo, the Class Vice President, Patrick J. Simmons, the Class Historian, and Nicholas G. Hemstreet, the Class Treasurer. Brother Rats, today is the day. We are about to receive our coveted class rings and enter the ranks of alumni far and wide with the VMI ring. I want everyone to take a minute and reflect on those who have helped us get here. I personally would like to say thank you to Major General Wins, Colonel Bogart, Colonel Faust, Commander Shank, Captain Moore, Sergeant Major Sowers, Sergeant Major Pfaff, and Sergeant Burns. Your support has been unwavering, and we wouldn't be here without you. Sergeant Major Rubenstein, it's been an incredibly busy few months. Your dedication and every effort towards every single cadet at this institute does not go unnoticed. You truly changed lives here, mine included. Thank you for everything you do on a daily basis to keep the tradition and honor at VMI alive and well. I can wholeheartedly say I have learned how to be a servant leader through your example. To Noah, Turner, Pat, and Nick, thank you for your guidance, leadership, and trust in me to get us to this point today. These past 16 months have been some of the most stressful yet rewarding months of my life. Single-handedly working for our class has been an absolute honor and experience I will never forget. I would also like to extend a thank you to Bryson Manier, Class of 2024 Ring Figure Chairman, and Mr. Jack Karam, the Class of 2026 Ring Figure Chairman. Your help is very much appreciated, and we surely wouldn't be here without you. I would also like to give a huge shout out to the committee that got us to this point. I would also like to say thank you to my parents for your unwavering support and instilling in me the courage and dedication to be here today. On a hot August day, we entered barracks as a brand new rat mass, not really knowing what this new journey had in store for us. But 6 months later, we'd break out of the rat line and form the great class of 2025. Fast forward to right now, on November 17th, I could not be prouder of us as a class. We have broken boundaries and set new standards for the institute we call home. And although you have to sit through the ramblings of a naive 20-year-old, and you might not remember what I have to say today, I'm going to keep it short and just offer a few short pieces of advice. Brother Rats, we are the vanguard for a nation that desperately needs leaders in an ever-changing and evolving world. Our time at VMI is a short chapter in life. I encourage all of you to reflect on the journey that brought you here to this moment right now. Be proud. Take this moment in. We earned this as a class. No one can take this accomplishment away from you. Lastly, and most importantly, I thank God and the people who have brought us here today, Rod VMI and Rod 25. It is now my honor to introduce the 15th Superintendent of Virginia Military Institute, Major General Cedric T. Wins, VMI Class of 1995, with a few inspirational words.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Class of 2025, faculty and staff, members of the Corps of Cadets, family and friends, and Lieutenant General Dave Furness. Good afternoon. Today is one of the most memorable days in your cadetship, as was previously said. You will remember this day along with your matriculation, your breakout, and your graduation as one of the great milestones you have achieved since your arrival here to VMI. I will remember you as the first RAC class as I assume the role of superintendent of VMI. So I hold you all in very, very high regard. But I want you to all to remember that this afternoon, for the tremendous achievement that it represents and for the meaning of the ring that you have duly earned. You've made a great giant step forward, one step closer to your successful completion of your undergraduate academic journey, but you are not done yet. I certainly want you to celebrate this weekend, and I want you to remain excited about your lives and all that you have lived to accomplish thus far as members of your class. But most of all, recognize that very soon you will enter your final year as leaders of the Corps. And never forget that you are now soon to be wearing a symbol certain to be noticed by all those around you. You now join the ranks of all VMI cadets and graduates that have worn the ring since the class of 1848 started this great tradition. I hope you have a memorable and safe weekend as you enjoy time with your friends, your family, and your BRs. I know you have a lot of activities planned, and I trust that you will use your best judgment in everything that you do. Look out for one another and the special guests you have invited here to participate alongside you. Your actions this weekend will be some of your first while wearing your class rings. Wear it with honor. Wear it with a sense of duty as you continue to forge your legacy in history books. Class of 2025, I want to congratulate you on your many accomplishments, those that you've received individually and those that you've received together as a class. Everyone here is proud of you and excited to witness your future contributions and your further achievements to our great nation. We are truly honored to share this special day with you, so congratulations. And now I'm pleased to introduce Lieutenant General Dave Furness, VMI class of 1987. Could you join us and celebrate this joyous occasion? His military career culminated as Deputy Commandant for Plans, Policy, and Operations in headquarters of the United States Marine Corps. His years of sacrifice and leadership in the Marines clearly show his commitment to our great nation. His education started as a cadet right here at VMI, just like you. Dave, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done, and welcome back to VMI. It's a pleasure to have you join us and have you speak to the class of 2025. I would now like to turn the podium over to Cadet Benton, who will formally introduce our honored guests. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Major General Wins, for your inspirational words to our class. Our guest speaker today is Lieutenant General David J. Furness. Upon graduating from VMI in 1987, Lieutenant General Furness commissioned into the United States Marine Corps as a second lieutenant. Throughout his career, he served in a variety of command and staff billets in both the operating forces and the supporting establishment. As a lieutenant, he was a rifle platoon commander and an 81mm mortar platoon commander in the 2nd Marine Division with the 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, and the 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. As captain and major, he served in the 1st Marine Division as a commanding officer of Company K and the operations officer for the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines. As Lieutenant Colonel, he worked in the 1st Marine Division as the G3 Plans Officer, Deputy G3 Commanding Officer of 1st Battalion, 1st Marines, and then as the Executive Officer in the 1st Marine Regiment. As Colonel, he commanded the 1st Marine Regiment. As a General Officer, he commanded Combined Task Force Horn of Africa and the 2nd Marine Division. In the supporting establishment, he served on the staff of the Basic School as Staff Platoon Commander and as Tactics Instructor for both the Basic Officer and Infantry Officers Course. Commanding Officer of Recruiting Station Sacramento, Director, Marine Corps Legislative Liaison Office in the U.S. House of Representatives, Director of Expeditionary Warfare School, Legislative Assistant to the Commandant of Marine Corps, and the Assistant Deputy Commandant for Plans, Policy, and Operations. His professional military education includes the Basic School, the Infantry Officers Course, the U.S. Army Infantry Officer Course, and the School of Advanced Warfighting. He earned master's degrees from both United States Marine Corps Command and Staff College and the National War College. He participated in contingency operations in the Republic of Panama, Operation Provide Comfort, Operation Unified Assistance, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Enduring Freedom. His personal decorations include the Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal with Combat Distinguishing Device, Combat Action Ribbon, Commendation Medal, and the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, as well as the Distinguished Service Medal. He retired as the Deputy Commandant for Plans, Policy, and Operations. Lieutenant General Furness, I can speak for Noah and all of the GC when I say it's been an honor to get to know you on a personal level. Thank you for all the support towards our class in the past few months. If you see General Furness around this weekend, please thank him for his time and efforts. It is now my utmost honor and privilege to introduce VMI's own Lieutenant General David J. Furness, VMI Class of 1987.
That was quite an introduction. Yeah. General Wins, thank you for inviting me back here. It's always a pleasure to be here. I think the last time I was actually in this auditorium, I was cheering for you playing basketball. So, distinguished guests and faculty and staff, members of the VMI class of 2025, parents, good afternoon. And thank you for allowing me the great honor and privilege of speaking to you at such a prominent and well-earned milestone in your cadetship. This occasion is unique in many ways, difficult to fully appreciate for those who have not undertaken the most sublime journey you are on that may best be summed up as simply the VMI experience. Now, thinking way back to my own ring figure weekend, I'm not sure we even had a guest speaker. And if we did, I can't remember who it was or what he said, which suggests two things. First, I'm getting old and forgetful. And second, that I probably was a bit distracted at that moment in time. So I do know a little bit about the emotions you all are feeling right now. That said, what I do recall vividly is the heart-pounding anticipation of finally placing this ring on my finger for the first time, linking up with my ring figure date, who is now my wife of 36 years. Yeah, she just sent me pictures today to remind me, just in case I forgot, of our ring figure. And of course, the unforgettable excitement of spending this special weekend with my brotherettes, my closest friends in the entire world. So I get where you're at, and yet as daunting a challenge as this situation presents for me, I will still endeavor to share some thoughts on the significance of this day and provide you some thoughts on symbolism, service, sacrifice to reflect on now and perhaps recall later on down the road. And then as quickly as possible, I promise to get out of your way so that you can get on with this weekend's festivities. The VMI class ring stands out among the nation's service academies and senior military colleges, not only for its unusually large size, something we are all immensely proud of, by the way, but to my knowledge, VMI is the only school that allows each class to exclusively design their own ring. I have never seen two VMI rings that are the same, and yet I am confident that within seconds I can pick out numerous similarities between both our rings. This is but one example of how VMI creates bonds that endure from class to class and generation to generation, and in many cases can be captured and conveyed for a lifetime in the powerful images and symbols that are included on a VMI ring. In our postmodern society of moral relativism and shifting ethical goalposts, such symbolism is important. It helps anchor us to our core values. It reminds us of the values and ideals we learned to live by and cherish long after our VMI experience has ended. To this end, all VMI rings have an institute side and a class side. The institute side captures the revered principles, historical events, and artifacts that VMI has built, developed, and refined over the many decades of its existence, producing men and women of character who have gone on to serve their respective communities, states, and countries with honor. The institute side signifies honor above self, a sense of commitment to selfless service, a martial spirit, and a willingness to sacrifice everything for our great nation. As the powerful image of the Newmarket Charge so prominently displayed in Memorial Hall clearly illustrates, and our alumni have provided in every conflict since the Institute's founding. And finally, it represents the endless possibilities a VMI education offers if we commit ourselves to live a life of uncompromising honor, selfless service, sacrifice, and a relentless pursuit of excellence in all our endeavors. The class side of every VMI ring embodies the challenging path each class travels through the 4-year crucible at VMI. This path is full of hazards and pitfalls, both literally and metaphorically, with a few merciful, smooth stretches every now and then, so that the journey is fondly remembered and cherished by all our graduates. These experiences become the iconography your class holds most dear. Key dates like matriculation, breakout, ring figure, and graduation are memorialized. Images like George Marshall, Virginia mourning her dead, and the VMI barracks. Having spent a fair amount of time in Afghanistan, I was particularly moved that your class side includes the number 13 to memorialize the 13 young American lives sacrificed at Abbey Gate at Kabul Airport during Hell Week of your rat year. These young Americans, blown up by a suicide bomber as they were trying to evacuate and protect young, innocent Afghans trying to escape the tyranny of the Taliban, the last American service members killed in action in America's longest war. What an exceptional way to embrace the virtues of service and sacrifice within your class. These symbols help bind you to each other and trigger memories of your cadetship that become increasingly more powerful and meaningful as the years pass. And finally, in the context of this ceremony, earning the right to wear this ring is a watershed moment in the development of the class's identity and maturity. It indicates that you are collectively well on your way to crossing the threshold of achievement, whereby the responsibility of leading the Corps falls squarely on your shoulders. The end of the path through the VMI experience is in sight, and you begin to realize that you will in fact graduate and have a big diploma to go along with your big ring. As I've mentioned, one of the most essential and prized virtues that the Institute and a VMI education instills in every cadet is an unwavering belief in selfless service to others. Service to the state is why the Institute was founded and has remained a core value for all VMI graduates for 184 years. The service VMI cadets continually perform in Lexington and Rockbridge County are a current example of this core value that many of you have already experienced. Through all this time, VMI alumni have served our great nation in uniform as citizen soldiers, called to the colors by the dire circumstances of the day. Our most accomplished alumnus, General George Catlett Marshall, class of 1901, whose image your class placed on your ring, personifies selfless service. Marshall's lifetime of service, unmatched expertise, and exceptional performance, no matter the duty assigned, enabled him to rise above the intractable structural bias that afforded West Point graduates every advantage when it came to promotions and command. Yet despite these obstacles, he became the Chief of Staff of the United States Army and the most trusted advisor to 2 U.S. presidents during the Second World War. As such, he was the principal architect of the global victory in the greatest war in human history. And afterwards, in perhaps his greatest achievement, he was the savior of Western civilization through the implementation of the European Recovery Program, better known as the Marshall Plan. George Marshall is arguably the greatest example of selfless service our nation has yet produced, and is certainly an example all VMI graduates would do well to study and emulate, no matter what uniform they wear. Of course, military service is not the only path of service VMI graduates choose. The point is that service above self takes many forms in this lifetime and is a lifetime commitment to place others before yourself. Whether serving your local community as a lawyer, teacher, policeman, engineer, minister, economist, or doctor, the Marshall model applies. Perhaps some of you may be drawn to serve a nonprofit, a non-governmental organization that benefits people you will likely never even know. Every time you put the ring on your finger, gaze at Marshall's visage on your ring and contemplate the Marshall model and what it means to serve with excellence and professionalism, to live a life of honor above self. I want to return one last time to that 13 on your ring. From your earliest days at VMI, you were confronted head-on by the reality of what one's service to the nation may ultimately cost. Like all those who have served before and who gave their last full measure of devotion, those 13 young American servicemen and women gave all of their tomorrows for others to enjoy the fruits of liberty and freedom today. Sacrifice can mean laying down one's life for fellow service member, or even putting yourself in harm's way to help a frightened family find refuge from a despotic ruler or brutal terrorist. While this might sound far-fetched, for some of you, I'm quite certain that all of you will eventually find yourself at an Abbey Gate. It might not mean your physical safety and well-being is at risk. It might not mean there are suicide bombers in the crowd, but it will mean that there are challenges that exceed everything you ever imagined, and there are metaphorical crowds pressing in all around you. You might doubt yourself. You might doubt your abilities, but I want you to think of this moment. Look around you. Look at your brother rats. Gaze at your ring. This will be the moment to deliver on the Institute's promise to produce men and women of high character and action. You will know what to do, and you will honor the memory of those 13 young Americans and all VMI graduates with your resolute actions. I believe that service and sacrifice are two sides of the same coin, and the value one places on that coin defines the nature of one's service and the level of one's sacrifice. Is the former transactional and the latter dependent on personal convenience or who is watching? May it never be so. For me personally, America is still the last best hope of all mankind. That shining city on a hill that remains a beacon of hope. Our Constitution and Bill of Rights have inspired millions around the globe and should fill the hearts of all our countrymen with pride to not only serve, but willingly sacrifice in its defense. 40 years ago, Ronald Reagan's stirring rhetoric and a commitment to liberty and freedom inspired a skinny kid from Richmond, Virginia, to begin a journey in uniform that has just recently concluded. When it began, I never imagined that it would take me to combat in Panama, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia, to defend freedom and in support of America's many allies and friends. I've aided and protected people in Kurdistan, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka, maintained vital alliances and partnered relationships in Europe, the Middle East, Central Asia, and Africa, all for the benefit of the American people, to create goodwill, to bolster our nation's national security, and to help put the ideas for which our republic was founded into practice across the globe. I've personally witnessed sacrifice in the defense of freedom and have never heard it once questioned by those who willingly answered their nation's call of duty. All my years in uniformed service have ended. However, I am ever watchful for the opportunities to continue to serve my fellow man, my community, my state, and my great nation. Service is what defines me and brings me joy. Your journey of service and sacrifice is just now beginning. The acceptance of this ring begins a new expedition, a campaign, as it were, to attain greater responsibilities while here at VMI and further prepare yourself for the life of selfless service that lies beyond limits gates. Like your choice of taking on the VMI experience, service and sacrifice are truly the road less traveled, but a road full of purpose, inward satisfaction, camaraderie, and other intangible rewards one cannot adequately put into words nor place a monetary value on. To the men and women of the VMI class of 2025, each of you, fair specimens of citizen soldiers, congratulations on attaining this milestone in your cadetship. I hope you have a wonderful ring figure weekend, and I wish you all the best during the rest of your cadetship and in all your future endeavors. Now, invoking a naval tradition, may I say may you always have fair winds and following seas, Semper Fidelis, Ra Virginia Mill, and never say die. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Furness, for your remarks. On behalf of the class of 2025, I'd like to present you with this gift, a picture of the class of 2025's breakout.
General Wins and Cadet Chapman will officiate. Please hold all applauses until the end. At this time, we will begin the presentation of the rings to the class of 2025. Cadets, prepare to receive your ring. Joshua Enrique Addis. One second. I got you. Noah Judd Aarons. Charles Reyes Alba. Elijah Gabriel Alberti. Clinton William Albrecht. Riley Thomas Alfonso. Frederick Abba Honor. Gabriela Juan Amos. Peyton Lawson Amos. Michael Tenchi Anesi. Corey Xavier Arias Cespedes. Aaliyah Shilon Armstrong.
Jason Keith Armstrong. Alexa Colleen Avery. James Alexander Baber V. Garrett Lee Barber. Cody Bartman. Adam Douglas Beaver. Caden Allen Beck. Samuel Peter Beck. Benjamin John Bierstein. Dominic Eric Bladorn. Isaiah Javier Blunt. James Robert Bowe. Lane Allen Basu. Zachariah Bushashia. Drury Wood Knight Bowles. Cole Sheldon Bauer. Calum Russell Boyd. Parker Avery Boykin. James Andrew Bonowitz. Daniel William Brisky. Kenneth Carl Bristow.
Nicholas Craig Brown, Jr. Wyatt Grayson Brown. Isabella Claudia Brzonik. Simon Tariq Bucknor. Brandon Anthony Bowie. Melena Carissy Bolger. Morgan David Allen Bird. Jonathan Michael Burkett. Jackson Reagan Butler. Isabella Ineti Cabalas. Emma Jean Cameron. Race Richard Cannon. Steele Edmund Cannon. Daniel Christopher Capodice. Zachary Alexander Carlson. River Allen Sean Carroll. Katria Jane Catania. Connor Dawson Cherry. John Luke Chesson. Awesome Abdullah Chu. Peter Nasir Chu.
David Sunyan Chow. Samuel Lucas Chopper. Addison James Clark. Natalie Gail Clark. Owen Michael Clark. Samuel David Clendon. Dylan Michael Colbert. Justin Emmanuel Collins. Jack Irish Conley. Gavin Odell Cooper. John Edward Covert. Cyrus Paxton Cox. Jackson David Creech. Joshua Buckner Creel. Philip Thomas Crouch. Matthew Alexander Colon. Brian Addison Culpepper. Vincent Lee Cyrus. Cameron Joseph DeBoo. Timothy Elliott Dagnew. Sedona Sky Dansu.
Aiden Reese Doherty. Audrey Grace Davis. Hunter McKinley Davis. Reese William Demori. Kenneth Arthur Dinkle. Kevin Joseph Doherty. Kate Faye Dowden. Charles Lowell Downs III. Matthew Henry Driscoll. William Michael Duffy. Jesse Walker Duke. Traylor Alexander Duval. Richard Zachary Edwards. Gabriel Jackson Eichler. Josiah Daniel Estep. Casey Clinton Etienne. Colby Bryce Evans. John Ian Evans. Joshua Jackson Evans. Bryant Christopher Falk. Caleb Russell Fender.
Laura Ruth Fensky. Anthony Cruz Fernandez Grimes. Earl Bagaskara Filgo. Ian Harris Finney. Caroline Abigail Friorilu. Jack Chrisman Fletcher. Joseph Peter Flynn, Jr. Ethan Michael Fogel. Nathan Andrew Frenchy Boy. Brooks Davis Freeman. Julie Naves Freitas. Richard Dwight Fuller. Lauren Lynn Fife. Logan Kyle Gaiman. Angelina Renee Garcia. Walker Douglas Lee Garner. Kevin Christopher Garraway. Ian Connor Gieseman. Griffin Jack Gibson. Bruce Howard B. Gilkerson. Evangelis John Galanos.
Christopher James Galini. Alexis K. Gonzalez. Eric Hans Gottman. Maxwell Donald Gorley. Rachel Elizabeth Greathouse. Ethan Rogers Griffith. Jonathan Charles Grove. Augustino Valentine Gornieri. Victoria Elise Gerges. Mason Ford Gustafson. Elena Kayla Gutierrez. Derek Balchi Jima. Michael George Hage II. Edward Moynihan Hale. Alexander Douglas Haley. Andres Puolani Hall. Ashton Leslie Hall. Vaughn Austin Hall. Brigham Fucan Hampton. Ryan Charles Harlow. John Reagan Harris.
Luke Provence Hart. Jabari Trayman Haslam. Nathan Patrick Hawley. Bruce Victor Hay, Jr. Kyle Patrick Hayes. Harrison Keel Henningberg. Michael Hans Henriksen. Andrew Jihoon Ha. Owen Karan Herbert. Heath Rudolph Hernandez. Johan Jose Hernandez. Christopher Jacob Hewitt. Braden James Homan. Jonathan Hunter Horton. William McDaniel Hauk. Haixing Huang. Stephen Paul Hillscamp II. Charles Andrew Hunt. John Thomas Inga II. Grayson Wayne Ingram. Noel A. Innocent. Noel A. Innocent.
Terrell Hassan Jackson. Bronco Peter Jaworski. Matthew Justin Jeffers. Melanie Abigail Jimenez. Alejandro Esteban Johnson. Connor Robert Johnson. Jason Hassan Johnson, Jr. Aaron Matthew Jones. Seamus Andre Jones. Jonah Michael Jurek. Joseph Michael Kane. Masia Maylee Callahan. Adriana Denise Kelly. John Frederick Kennedy. Madeline Jane Kennedy. Robert Joseph Kennedy III. Mitchell Allen Kerr. Paswa Kansama. Bin Mohammed Khan. Patrick Dunn Kiernan. John William Kiggins.
Evan Michael Klabundi. Maximilian Eric Kleberg. Timothy Franklin Crone. Thomas George Langston. Larvey. Christian Ambrose Larvey. Caroline Marie LaSalle. William Louis Dewey Lauerman. Deng Kwa Nguyen Lee. Suzanne Jeannie Peck Leaptrot. Chao Chun Lee. Tristan Singji Lee. Damian Asher Levin. Richard Porter Lewis II. Jai Lee. Apollo Len. Chun Hao Lu. Jackson Ray Lloyd. John Paul Locker II. Michael Bain Howard London. Athelia Oceana Long. Benjamin Ryan Lovingood.
Jaden Axel Lozano. Timothy Lyons Mackey. Patrick Robert McLaughlin. Charles Bawani Malay, Jr. Riley Kai Malone. James Alfred Manning, Jr. Diego Domingo Markey. Grant Mosley Martin. Delilah Mary Martindale. Charles James Masters. Presley McGuire Motter. Coy Jack Matson. Gibson Joshua Mall. Hunter Keith Mall. Luke Whittington Mayer. Alex George Mayton. Kenna J. McAllister. Owen Seamus McCaffrey. Trey Robert McGee. Connor Quinn McGovern. Cody Lloyd McGuire.
Samuel Kevin McKee. Nicholas Jack McLaughlin. Ruben Christian Medina. Jake Matthew Meehan. Emma Marie Meidel. Andreas Cristiano Melendez. Andrew Charles Menges. Aaron Thomas Metz. Andrew Lewis Miller. Cole Ryan Mooney. Luke Matthew Mooney. Simon Delano Roberts Moore III. Lainey Elizabeth Morgan. Joshua Gavin Moylan. Luke Michael Marenza. Io Julia Neo. David Cole Newman. James Ely Newsome III. Lin Kwong No. Liam Wallace Noonan. Courtney Nicole Novotny.
Woong Chan Oh. Christopher Antonio Olson. Daniel Aiden O'Neill. Joshua Daniel Palmer. Evan Keith Palmer. Carson Eric Paxton. Thomas Anderson Pearson. David Dawson Pedigo III. John Morgan Pendleton. Ryan Zachary Peterson. Victor Petrusevsky. Elijah Kester Phillips. Victoria K. Phillips. Matthew Todd Pitts. Caden Luke Plummer. Zachary Thomas Poche. Michael David Poe. Tyler Tyreek Lander Poindexter. Austin Chase Powell. Carly Nicole Price. Brian Michael Pritchard.
Aiden Joseph Purdom. Mason Dwayne Rotz. Stephen Alexander Rollis. Eric Michael Rankin. Thomas William Reagan. Cameron James Revels. Hunter James Rice. Frederick Aloysius Reineman III. Hunter Grayson Robbins. Rachel Joy Roberson. Jude Ryan Roberts. William Jackson Roberts. Brian Joseph Rogers, Jr. Samuel Joseph Rooker. Alexi Joseph Royar. Justice James Rosick. Robert Hunter Rosahedji. Matthew Wade Rumsey. Luke Alexander Restorucci. Aiden Nathaniel Sanders. Leonard James Sargent.
Kenneth Cade Sawyer. Mason Alexander Scanlon. Luke Patrick Schneider. Benjamin Eli Schreier. Thomas Robert Lee Schultz. Alexandra Erica Schwartz. Bailey Andrews Schaefer. Gretel Yvette Schenk. Henry Bennett Sheets IV. Carlos Andreas Shields. McKenna Jolie Strout. Yeah, I got you. Riley Santiago Simon. Raj Kanazawa Singh. Matthew Thomas Sisk. Courtney Diane Smith. Ethan James Smith. Matthew Garrett Solomon. Theodore Kelly Sowards. Caleb Owen Staples. Dorian O'Brien Starnes. Olin Peter Stedge Larson.
Mason Allen Stewart. Tristan John Stour. Scott Nicholas Streff. John Joseph Sullivan. Craig Andrew Swain. Spencer Douglas Tate. Brian Matthew Tavner. Demethus Jaward Thompson, Jr. Hannah Jo Thompson. Xander Laszlo Topis. Whitney Ann Tracy. Joshua Cooper Toole. Daniel Joseph Tolis. Michael Victor Tulipov. Nicholas Truman Vile. Nathan Angelo Vaness. Cyrus Anthony Vinson. Joshua Giovanni Vasicio. Samuel David Voglin. Michael Joseph Wakefield. William Jacob Waldron.
Christian Michael Walker. Benjamin DeBrow Wallace. Carter Holland Wasser. Brooks Bunch Weatherly. Ethan Carey Webster. Kyler William Weimer. Cameron Reevard Joseph West. Jackson Vincent Wicca. Holden Reed Wilkerson. Jeremiah Abel Wilkes. Brandon Cruz Williams. Gabriel Patrick Williams. Harrison Meade Williams. Tristan Charles Williams. Charles Lamar Williamson. Luis Brand Wiltonmuth. Andrew Christopher Wright. James Philip Wynn. Anna Yemenova. David Owen Young. Nathan Stephen Benton, ring figure chairman. Nicholas George Hemstreet, class treasurer. Patrick John Simmons, class historian. Turner James Gallo, class vice president. Noah Alexander Chapman, class president. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the class of 2025.
There's a lot more people here than I thought there would be, but we'll go ahead with saying what I got to say. Receiving the VMI ring is a great milestone in our cadetships. It places a bookmark in this chapter of our lives and gives us the opportunity to look back and see what we've done to make it to this point. The rings in all of your hands allow you all to say this: I didn't choose ordinary. I walked the path less traveled. While every other kid my age wasn't living their lives to their full potential and not doing the right things, I was here, sharpening my sword. I did the right things. I never did lie, cheat, steal, nor did I tolerate those who did. And I have full faith in the honor of the individuals to the left and to my right. Be proud of that. This is a bond that surpasses race, religion, or ideology. It is not only a reminder of our own accomplishments, but also a physical representation of the history to which we're about to become a part of. The ring draws all of VMI together and sets the rest apart. The history of the VMI ring is tied to men and women who've accomplished great things in their lives, who've led our country through times of national peril, made great strides within our industries, and who served as a beacon of light throughout the centuries. The ring has been worn by all who served in the armed forces after graduation, and to that, it was on the hands of many VMI men who did not return home after answering their call to duty. The ring was worn by those who perished in the trenches on the Western Front, on the islands of Japan, in the waters of the Pacific, on the frozen fields in Europe, in the jungles of Vietnam, and the deserts of the Middle East. We know that we will never find a solution to end all wars. We also know that the ladies and gentlemen produced by the Virginia Military Institute will never stop answering that call to duty. It should be understood that in future conflicts, many VMI rings and their wearers will continue to find their final resting place on those distant battlefields. And I do not doubt that found etched on some of those rings in shining gold or silver will be the phrase, "Retreat Hell," and the numbers 2025. I do not mean to cast a solemn shadow on this day. What I'm trying to say is this: from this day on, go about your lives with a great sense of courage, with the instinct to always step forward when nobody else will, regardless of whether or not you go into the military or the civilian world. Live your lives so that when the bell tolls and the Good Shepherd calls you home, others will look upon your lives in such a manner that the VMI ring shines even brighter. Thank you. Now it is time for me to turn the mic over to our class president, Cadet Noah Chapman.
Brother Ratz, Lieutenant General Furness, Major General Wins, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few people I'd like to thank before I talk to my brother Ratz. First of all, I'd like to thank Command Sergeant Major Rubenstein for everything she does every single year for the cadets at the Virginia Military Institute. She makes ring figure happen. I'd like to give her a round of applause. Families, parents, guardians, siblings, dates, you are the ones who give the cadets the strength to push forward every single day. It's not easy to be at Virginia Military Institute, and although you may not understand every day, you are the ones who give us strength. Thank you. Just a few more. P2 physical plant staff, Sergeant Major Sowers, Lieutenant General Furness, Specialist Rogers, Major General Wins, General Mareshi, General Clark, coaches, faculty advisor, Colonel David, and Colonel Bogart. Thank you all for helping us achieve this great day. Thank you. I'm forgetting a few people, I know, but lastly, I'd like to thank my brother Ratz to my right here and the ring committee for making this happen, specifically Nick Hemstreet. You did not need to step up, but you did. Your head doesn't need to get any bigger, but I'd just like to thank you. Round of applause. Thank you. All right, Brother Ratz, today's the day, the culminating event of our cadetship. We matriculated, broke out, and now our beers will go clink when we grab them, and our hands will be weighted by brotherhood. This ring is a symbol that tells your future employer that you hold honor higher than you hold your ego. This ring will tell your troops that you'll carry them out of fire. This ring will tell your family that you persevered through thick and thin, and life will leave you stoically unfazed. This ring will serve as a reminder that there are 358 Brother Ratz that will pick you up, bail you out, and take a bullet for you if they need to. This ring means something different to everyone who wears it. When I put this ring on, I will remember the rat line. Every push-up, at every sweat party, and every Brother Rat who lifted me up. I'll think about every single Brother Rat I lifted and how strong each of you has become. I see a design on this ring my Brother Rat's forged with the intent of symbolizing the grit and tenacity of the best class to ever pass through barracks. When I see the design, I will think of the days and nights spent in the Commandant's conference room, the good, the bad, and the ugly of planning an event in a complicated environment. I wouldn't give that up for the world. Every hour of frustration we spent as a team is worth every second of triumph we get to enjoy as the same. When I see this ring, I have the privilege of holding what our class created, and my feelings of pride transcend this material object. Our Dyke Line is an elite group of individuals, loyal, honorable men and women, and this ring is their legacy. Our legacy will be similar because our rats will respect us, not because we ask them to, but because we will respect them and treat them with authenticity. When I see each of you every day on the stoop, I'm proud to be a part of this team. VMI produces excellent men and women, but it means something extra to be a part of the Alpha Omega Dyke Line. During the rat line, we learned of VMI's powers to break, and since we have learned of its powers to build. While we may be smaller in numbers now, we have grown stronger of heart. The melancholy feeling of seeing a brother rat turn into a co-matriculant upon departure will be stored in this ring, but that will only make us more resilient. The beauty found in pain is something we shall never take for granted. We will wear it with a closed fist, pennies short of a weapon. Death before dishonor. I'll remember something about a drive-in movie theater. Every time we had to go shower in gray blouse and the loss of our shoulder boards. I'll remember every little moment in between that brought us together as a class. We may not think about it every day, but there's a lot to love about VMI. After all, it is the place that brought us together, and it's the place that will bring us back years later after our rings are dented and faded. In the end, we are what makes VMI what it is, the cadets. More specifically, VMI class of 2025. Godspeed, retreat hell, and Ratu 5. Thank you. All right, we're going to enter into the 2-5 on both sides. Afterwards, we'll have the old yells, and then we'll sing the spirit and the docks. Class of 2025, attention. Go ahead and move to the 2-5. The tape is there from where we formed it up yesterday. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got it.
And then,
I'm going to go move people on this side. You guys want to move people on that?
Yep.
We're going to do 3 old yells. The first one for our Grand Dykes class. Mr. Tavener, please lead an old yell for the class of 19.
Let's go! Run, Virginia Blue! Run, run, run! Run, run, VMI! 19, 19, 19! Oh!
The next one will be for our Dykes class, the class of 22. Beans, please lead this one. Last one, Mr. Streff, Brother Rats. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this exalted occasion. Brother Rats, if you would like to attend the ring blessing, it'll be up in Memorial Hall at 15:30. Class of 2025, you are dismissed.